I'm going to read from Mark chapter 14 from verse 3. While he, Jesus, was in Bethany, reclining at the table in the home of a man known as Simon the leper, a woman came with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume made of pure nard. She broke the jar and poured the perfume on his head. Some of those who were present were saying indignantly to one another, "Why this waste of perfume? It could have been sold for more than a year's wages and the money given to the poor." And they rebuked her harshly. "Leave her alone," said Jesus. "Why are you bothering her? She has done a beautiful thing to me. The poor you will always have with you, and you can help them any time you want, but you will not always have me. She did what she could. She poured perfume on my body beforehand to prepare for my burial. I tell you the truth, wherever the gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her." We don't know the lady's name. We probably refer to her as the woman with the alabaster jar of expensive perfume, and it's a lovely description. Great to be famous for doing that. But what about the host, Simon, whose house it all happened in? His description is Simon the leper, going down in history as the woman with the alabaster jar of expensive perfume is much better than going down in history as Simon the leper. When I was doing my degree studies, there was a history module which had a phrase in it which was unwitting testimony. So when you were looking at a diary, say from history, you had to see if you could find the unwitting testimony. It's if someone was writing about a particular subject or event, they could unwittingly reveal something that had nothing to do with what they were writing about. So for instance, I am Sir Gerald's butler. On Saturday at about 6 o'clock I was clearing away the sherry when Mr. Jones entered, pushed me to one side, and as I fell to the floor I saw him stab Sir Gerald in the chest. So there's the explanation as to what happened, but the unwitting testimony, which has nothing to do with the murder described, is that Sir Gerald was in the habit of drinking sherry. So you get the idea. So Mark here is writing about what the woman did and the reaction of the people to it and Jesus' reaction. The unwitting testimony, I think, is the phrase, "a man known as." So Mark doesn't write, Jesus was reclining at the table of Simon the leper. He writes, Jesus was reclining at the table of a man known as Simon the leper. I think this suggests that it was a nickname, that Simon probably wasn't even a leper anymore, because it's unthinkable that Jesus would recline at his table and not heal him. And I reckon he'd probably known him a while and he'd healed him previously, and that the nickname Simon the leper had stuck. Perhaps he'd been a leper for many years and that was what everybody called him, and just didn't even think anymore as to what it meant. So maybe people should have started calling him Simon the Unblemished. In the Bible, God changed the names of quite a few people, and often it had to do with a new identity. So Jacob, his name was changed to Israel, which means wrestled, because he wrestled with God and wouldn't let him go until he blessed him. Abraham, his name was changed to Abraham, so he was changed from father to father of a multitude. Sarai, her name was changed to Sarah, from princess to mother of nations. And Simon, from the humble fisherman to Peter the Rock, who would achieve great things for God. So they all had new names, new identities. And the Bible talks about us being given new names. In Revelation, it talks about being given a white stone with a new name written on it. I think it's kind of a picture of heaven, that. And then also it says in Revelation, to the one who overcomes, I will write on him my new name. And in Isaiah 62, you will be called by a new name that the mouth of the Lord will bestow. And Revelation 22, his name will be on their foreheads. So back to Simon the leper. There was a poster up at church a while ago, and it said, it's never too late to start again with Jesus. And I reckon Simon the leper did have a fresh start, a new identity. So Simon the unblemished could have a deeper meaning, an unblemished heart, not just his skin. In Colossians 1:22 it says, and this could be said of Simon, but now he has reconciled you by Christ's physical body through death to present you holy in his sight, without blemish and free from accusation. So what about you? Is there something that used to identify you that God has changed? So what would be your old name and what would be your new name? So for me, I've just thought about it, that my old name would be Janet the Doubtful, and my new name would be to Janet the Reassured. So what do you think your old name and new name would be? Or maybe you still need God to give you a new identity. Perhaps like Simon the Unblemished, you need a new start. It's never too late to start again with Jesus. And 2 Corinthians chapter 5 talks about this new identity. It says, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has gone, the new has come. So the one who overcomes, I will write on him my new name. You will be called by a new name that the mouth of the Lord will bestow, and his name will be on their foreheads. Amen.